So, is this something that you ever want to see? Your telehandler stripped down and into, well, probably 1,000 pieces at this stage. No, it's definitely not something you ever want to see. What has happened? Well, has there been some huge failure on the teleporter? No. Has something broke that left or rendered the teleporter useless beyond any doubt and forced our hand into having to go and fix it? No, certainly not. Teleporter was working fine until we split this up. But we didn't split it up for nothing. We had a small oil leak. And the oil leak has been an ongoing issue for about 18 months, I think, at this stage. Rewind back 18 months. Small oil leak started showing up underneath the rear axle of the teleporter. Which, when you get a teleporter and age becomes part of its thing, you start to get the odd oil leak here and there, especially with hoses. There's not many hoses on them that an odd one starts to perish every now and again. You probably end up having to replace 4 or 5 hoses a year in a lot of cases on older teleporters. And yeah, we just thought it was a hose. Passing remarks, between a couple of drips, you'd see every time you parked it up somewhere in the yard or in the meal shed, you might see a couple of drips on the ground. So our approach was, okay, we'd look around, we couldn't see any sign of any leaks on any hoses. Let's leave it. Let's not touch it. Let's leave it until something gets a little bit worse, and then we can see where it's coming from, and we can fix it. So that was the stance we took with it. It didn't seem to get any worse, which was unusual. 6 months passed, and driving around the yard, teleporter got a little bit sluggish one day driving, filling the feed up. And I'd stop it, I'd restarted it. It actually became intermittent on its drive. Oh, I didn't know what it was. I was trying to figure out what was wrong. Was there something wrong with the transmission, or didn't know what it was. Anyway, it's been on for a few days, and eventually we dipped the transmission for oil after a number of days to see what was it. And see was there oil, and the transmission was low on oil. Actually, there was only there was a litre of oil that's in the transmission. So we topped it up, bang, teleporter fine, back driving as normal, perfect. Number of months passed again, done it again. So we kind of figured out at that stage, okay, here we go. This is where the oil leak is coming from. Still you could see wet spots. Eventually, when we got in there and looked around the transmission, you could see on one of the there was some access or service hole, a little bit of oil running out of it. So that was it. We knew there was something wrong there. Didn't know what it was, hadn't a clue, but still never really got much worse until the last number of months. It started to get a little bit worse. So started looking into it a bit more, and we were told that there's a seal in there on a shaft that can cause issues. So silage season is coming. When the machine gets a bit of heat in around it, it does start to leak a little bit worse. We noticed over the last few months. So we're going to be using the teleporter for a day and a half at silage. It's going to get well warmed up, plus hay and all those things that'll be happening. There'll be a lot of teleporter work over the summer in warm conditions anyway. The weather will be warmer, and we didn't want dealing with it and something maybe getting worse, or the seal getting worse, and having to do it in the middle of the busy season. So here we go. Decided to take the engine had to come out, which isn't actually as big a job as what you might think. It's when you start to loosen the bits off it, it comes out fairly straightforward. So yeah, that's where we are. The seal itself, there's a little housing that slots in here. There's a shaft on it, and the seal then pushes up on that, and it just keeps all the oil in there. And yeah, that's basically all that happened. Bit of a pain to have to do it, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, I had to go and pick up our friend's JCB. So JCB is here helping us out. I just lifted out the engine yesterday evening with it, and yeah, we're hoping to get it back in and into position today, and get it back on the road. Yeah, look, we have a bit of time anyway. We're not going to be cutting the silage for about close to 2 weeks at this stage, and it just gives us a wee bit of time. If there was something else that we needed to replace, or we had to order in, we had plenty of time to do that. So it's one of a few things that's ever happened. The machine, what else has happened down through the years? Probably did mention these things before. We'd done the head gasket last year. When you're walking the machine very hard, especially in the summertime, the machine could overheat. The temperature gauge could start to rise up a little bit. So we thought it was better to just do that rather than wait until things got worse. What else did we do to it? There was a seal in the push out ram for the boom. It went. It's probably 6 or 7 years ago. What else went on it? What else? Other issues was there down through the years? The ECU on the engine went faulty. Sometimes you'd be using the machine and it would just start to labour, or you might have to turn it off, turn it back on. You know, it might happen twice a day, it mightn't happen then for a month. It wasn't a huge issue, but it was something we got sorted as well. And we done the front axle bearings a couple of years back as well. Just fix them up. There was a little bit of play started coming into them, just normal wear and tear. And then hoses, just, you know, you have your random hoses that you get. There's how many hoses in these machines that they're going to perish and bust at some stage, especially when they start to get on a little bit in age. So overall, 14 years, it hasn't given much bother. She has been a good servant. We're not going to fall out of love with it just yet. We still think they're an excellent machine. The likes of this here that has went, that can happen. Seals go. The seal went hard itself in itself, and it just wasn't doing its job anymore. It happens. It'll happen on any make, any manufacturer. You'll get these little issues, especially when the machine starts to get on. And we love this. Like we've had a few other machines out on demo. We like them, but these here are just a well-built, well-balanced, nice to drive machine. Even still, all these years later, they don't have some of the mod cons that the new ones have, but you get in there and I could turn around at sixpence. You're used to it. It's when you like driving something and you like having it, you don't want to change away from it unless you really, really have to. And the likes of this here it's a bit of maintenance. Some of it, like the likes of the head gasket, was you could class as maintenance. It was preventative as well. Like, we could have used away at it for the way it was. Just be careful with it. But yeah, we want to keep it. We want to hold on to it for another while. Good ones of them of these here are now few and far between, and this is a fair good one, so we want to keep it that way. So yeah, it's a matter of just keeping all the bits and pieces that goes wrong with it, fix them as they happen or if they happen, and yeah, we'll keep her on the road for as long as we can. So that's it. Look, we're hoping to get it lifted back in the next few days. As I say, the Jerry's the way to get. We have the seal there. He's going to, I think there's a little bearing that when it's out, it's not gone, but he says when he's out and out this far, he's going to stick a new bearing in it as well. So he's waiting to see about that. I am going to have a little bit of a clean around this. There is just where the oil was, there was a bit of oil leaked around it, and over the last number of years, and dust has stuck to it. So I'm going to just get in there and clean that all down when there's a bit of room, a bit of space. And that'll keep me busy now for the next hour or so, and I'll get that done. And yes, we'll see what else is happening maybe in the afternoon, and I'll maybe get a bit of footage of something else.